Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashib, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rahah Wadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my heavenly Father Yahweh and my heavenly big brother Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching His truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashem Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up about the Lord, and yeah, they ain't plaguing the world with plagues. I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture my best ability. Say whatever God say through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit of Krahak Badash, Lord wanna be open. Let's get it. Oh yeah, I see the title on here talking about absolute chaos. Houses torched in Spokane. I can't pronounce that shit. What is it? Trees still standing. Yep. I said that shit yesterday. Ain't nothing new. They be doing this shit. You know, you ain't gotta tell me how these things got started on fire. So please don't leave no comment about that. But it for anybody. But anyway, trees still standing, metal mailboxes, mail doesn't, but the mail doesn't. What? Alright, I'm gonna play the video. Yeah, you know the classic the classic shit you'll see be like a car with some metal wheels and the wheels are melted off the car. There's a metal alloy wheels melted off the car. Come on, bro, this is some other shit.
Do you have any information in regards to the fires in Spokane? Well, we have metal mailboxes that have melted, but yet the Amazon Prime pack...
Now, I don't know what damn that is. It's inside. It's trapped inside. So, yeah, that's strange.
Package inside is still there untouched. It just so happens...
Are you sure that's metal?
That Spokane, Washington is part of the 2030 agenda for smart cities and is listed right here on the map.
But yeah, they are orchestrating planning on smart cities. But you know, I'm real question. I like to question a lot of shit, but yeah.
You can also see that this level 3 Old Trails fire is rolling up on the neck of the woods of West Plain.
Yeah, you see that beam coming down. Yeah, you already know.
Right where the data center is scheduled to go. People are asking questions as to...
Now, you know this truck got steel wheels. It ain't aluminum alloy. Yeah, it's an old Chevrolet or GMC box frame, whatever you want to call it. The wheels ain't melted. But let it be aluminum alloy wheels.
Why the trees are still standing all over the place.
Yep.
And the metal has been melted in places, everything else destroyed. Again, houses, you can see here, reminds me of the Paradise Palace.
Pretty much all of them. All these wildfires that took place in residents, yeah.
It's where the houses are burned down and the trees around them still standing. And you've got things melted down. Like this vehicle getting torched and it being hot enough to melt aluminum and glass, but not hot enough to burn up the grass and the shrubbery right next to it. A lot of odd things start to stand out. Another one here, as you can see, this place completely torched.
Got an old hoopty.
Glass melted, everything else, but the trash cans just
two old hoopties.
A few feet away. Still standing, A-OK. Nothing wrong with them. You can also make note that Spokane is part of an initiative that has had over 450 smart meters put into these neighborhoods alone, maybe even more. Well, people are seeing this, driving through neighborhoods, and are asking, how did this house even catch fire when all the trees and everything around it are still standing? They're good questions to ask, especially when you've got homes completely taken out and the one standing right next to it not getting hit. So did they have a smart meter? Questions that I have. And do you have any information on all of this? Let me know.
Hey man, it's still the players of the Lord. No matter if you say direct energy weapons, the Lord gave Esau these weapons to use and give hell to the people on earth or in America. And they doing a damn good job. That's why you need to seek Yahweh Shema Shah and repent. Let's get to the next video.
This is the fake ad you see everywhere.
Here a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead. I want you to no disregard. Put 52 for the branch. Copy.
I mean, yeah. That's what happened when the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. When the wicked bear of rule, the people mourn. Shit, plaguing the hell out of you people. Exalt me, Yahweh Shema Shah. Alright, let me get back to the video. I'm just talking too much.
Hey, more. Put 52, I want you to come down right before we get the camera over to the side
We're going to turn now to CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve in Spokane, Washington. Chris, we can see the smoke rising behind you. At times we've seen flames behind you. Can you give us a rundown of what the situation is like on the ground?
Well, good morning, Michael. This is the reality for hundreds of families here in the Spokane area. Realize
I don't want to hear you, nigga.
dangerous wildfires are tearing through neighborhoods around Spokane, Washington.
Well, I still got to hear him, but I want to see the destruction. I don't want to see him talking. I don't mind hearing him talking, but I want to see destruction.
Leaving burnt out homes and cars, some still on fire. For one resident, the memories of her father are left in the ruins as she struggles to tell her mother.
All of our memories are gone. My dad just died and all of his stuff was still in there too. She's in my car right now with my grandson. And how do I tell her?
Tens of thousands are under evacuation orders as 3 large wildfires scorch more than 7,000 acres.
The wind was so fast, it just blew through so quickly.
Joe Van Cara's family rushed to dig a fire line to protect his home during the height of the blaze. So far, at least 9 of his neighbors have lost theirs.
Everything around here is burnt until you get to this 3-foot fire break they dug. It bought time and it saved the houses.
One of Van Cara's best friends lived next door. Now, that home is nothing but ashes.
It just saddens me greatly. They were devastated today.
Strong winds gusting over 30 miles per hour, dry brush and low humidity are fueling growing wildfires across multiple states. In southern Utah, the Widemouth 2 wildfire tripled in size in less than a day, burning more than 36,000 acres.
Yo, I was just thinking, I was walking around clearing some shit while the video playing. Now, these people should now know what's going on with all these fires now. They should know by now, and they should be raging mad because of this shit. Especially the Edomites. They should be raging mad at their own people, their own government, their own fucking president. They should be raging mad. And I hope they do get raging mad, but hopefully they don't turn that rage towards Jake. Most likely they will. Shit. Because they too pussyfied to even fuck with their own, the higher ups of their own people. But I hope they do turn raging mad and realize, damn, their own people are fucking devils. And shit, we've been telling you that. Anyway.
On Sunday.
Well, ultimately, these are players of Yahweh Shema Shah.
The U.S. Forest Service described the growth as catastrophic and said it was too dangerous to put firefighters on the front lines of the expanding inferno. This is already one of the worst fire seasons in the Pacific Northwest in decades. Firefighters here in the Spokane area are going to get a break. Conditions are better. That extreme.
And these niggas here, I mean, these wildflowers are I don't say wildflowers, but wildfires are spreading from this place to that place and that place and this place. I ain't heard much about what's going on here in the South. I'm pretty sure there are some in the South, but man, come on, bro. And like say Dabu connecting the dots and showing you data centers being built or plans on data centers. Yeah, man. At least Satan should get an advantage of us for we're not ignorant of his devices. How long? I don't know. Should I keep playing this shit? Yeah, I'll let it keep playing.
Fire danger with those high winds has passed.
I want to see the fire burning. I don't want to hear him talking, running his mouth.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Ah. Yeah. Oh. Moly.
If you're building a home
I wanted to see this shit. Now that the residential areas,
gym right now, you
then they had to cut to a freaking ad.
probably think that you need dumbbells, barbells, squat rack, all this different stuff.
Look at all them trees still standing. Grass looks fine. Yo, look at all them trees in the background, but the whole house is burnt. Well, this one is. Oh yeah, it is, cause it got the bricks with the shit. And this house looks like it's so not house. This tree looks so close, but it's been touched, but it ain't completely down. It's not completely burnt down to the ground. Look at that shit there. Let's see what the comments say. Yeah, I'm surprised they got the comments over. Let's see what they say. That shot of the person child riding on the bike through the stairs in a smoldering neighborhood was surreal. It's not just Washington, it's Oregon as well. Yep, there's fire there then. Praying for everybody. Say, oh shit, I'm only praying for the elect. Fuck all you motherfuckers. What we got? Lord, please shield these brave firefowl. Fuck that shit, nigga. The Lord, the one that bringing the who y'all in to call Jeebus, sweet Jeebus. Yeah, the shit. Yahweh Shema Shah, Yahweh Shah. That's his name, not no damn Jeebus. But Yahweh, who the world in to call God, and Yahweh Shah, who the world in to call Jesus. They're bringing all this fire. Shit, and using Esau monkey ass to do so. The so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's red. He's a baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigga named Amalek, the elite of Esau Amalek. A real nightmare. I was hoping somebody would say direct energy weapons, and that's all. And everybody be looking at him like, this guy's crazy. No, this guy knows what's going on. He was right. But ultimately, it's Yahweh Shema Shah's plagues. So fuck giving man any credit for all this. It's all credit due to Yahweh Shema Shah. Alright, let me get to the next video. Heat waves. It's gonna play. There.
The heat isn't easing. It's hunting. South Korea is preparing for a day that could rewrite the record books. Streets may empty, work may stop, and even healthy people are being told to stay indoors. As temperatures climb toward dangerous extremes, August 4th could push Seoul to its breaking point. South Korea's capital is bracing for what could be its harshest day of the summer, as forecasters warn conditions on August 4th may surpass anything recorded so far this scorching year. A heatwave emergency warning, the highest level under the country's alert system, takes effect at 11 a.m. on August 4th across parts of southeastern and southwestern Seoul, along with Osan, Hanam, and western Yeoju in Gyeonggi Province. It is the first time such a warning has been declared for the Greater Seoul region since the system was introduced in June 2026.
Outdoor activities and work should be halted or postponed as much as possible. Individuals should move to cool locations, such as air-conditioned indoor spaces or designated heat relief shelters.
The alert is triggered when an area already enduring perceived temperatures of 35 degrees Celsius or higher for 2 consecutive days is forecast to reach 38 degrees or more, or an actual reading of 39 degrees for a further day. Even healthy residents are being told to stay indoors and avoid outdoor labor altogether. On August 3rd, the nation's highest reading hit 41.2 degrees in one southern region, with figures close behind elsewhere in the south. Seoul itself touched 39 degrees, a sign of what forecasters say is still to come. Meteorologists point to shifting winds pushing the foe in effect across the Baekdu-Daegan mountain range and into the capital. A process that heats and dries air as it descends, already blamed for record temperatures further south in recent days. The toll is already climbing. By August 1st, nearly 1,900 people nationwide had suffered heat-related illnesses, with 14 deaths recorded. A first heat death of the year was reported in one western port city on August 3rd, while a man in his 70s died in the south in a suspected heat-related case. Seoul's city government held emergency talks on August 3rd, with alerts in place since July 23rd. Visiting nurses are now checking on roughly 63,000 vulnerable residents across the capital, while more than 200 water trucks are dousing nearly 2,000 kilometers of road to ease the urban heat island effect. Local authorities elsewhere are turning to technology to cope. Drones fitted with loudspeakers and thermal cameras are patrolling tourist areas in the south, while in one southwestern county,
I'm gonna start right there. Well, yeah, the Lord's plagues, kicking people's butts. Let's get to the next one. Where is the next one? I lost track of where I'm at. Oh, here we go.
Mike Collins voted against.
Come on, man.
The threat of extreme weather is not limited to India. Across the border in China, another powerful typhoon has slammed into the country, marking the third cyclone to make landfall there in just a month. As communities clean up from yet another storm, scientists are asking whether these intense weather events are becoming more frequent in a warming climate. Our next report has more.
3 typhoons in 1 month. That is the challenge China has faced this July. The latest typhoon Noel that struck on July 26 brought destructive winds, torrential rain, and widespread flooding after typhoons Bavi and Maisak. Typhoon Noel's landfall forced authorities to issue warnings, suspend transport services in some areas, and prepare emergency response teams. Over 700,000 people were evacuated from southern China's Guangdong region. According to reports, it was also deemed as the strongest typhoon to have hit China this year. Noel brought winds of up to 162 kilometers per hour. This was of slightly higher intensity than Typhoon Bavi, which reported wind speeds of up to 155 kilometers in an hour. The winds were so powerful that the scaffolding off of the side of a building in Hong Kong also came off after swaying back and forth. In Shenzhen, a 6-year-old girl was also blown away from inside a building. But
damn, can you imagine that shit?
Was able to walk back to safety, according to her father.
The strong wind came so suddenly and a gust blew the door open. As there were 2 children inside, we did not have time to look after the elder one at that moment. I did not expect that she would run back on her own. It is scary now that I think about it.
The storm also led to hundreds of flight and train cancellations in the region. At least 28 temporary shelters were opened in the affected areas. After the typhoon's landfall, rain triggered flash floods, killed at least 10 people in northern China on July 26th. Authorities also evacuated stranded tourists from a UNESCO World Heritage Site on July 27 after mudslides triggered by heavy rain. Now, typhoons are a regular part of life in East and Southeast Asia. But why do they strike China so often? The answer...
Well, the answer is Yahweh Shema Shah plaguing the shit out of you damn Moabites for what you done to his people, his children. Yeah, the Israelites. They're bringing judgment to you niggas. And you're going to have Israelites amongst the heathens that look like the heathens. They consider to be 2/3 to punish you niggas too. But then also help, he ain't going to punish every Israelite that look like the heathen. A speckled bird, I'll just say that. Because you're going to have 2/3 speckled birds, you're going to have 1/3 speckled birds of the elect Israelites that look like the heathens. Yeah. But anyway, mostly for the heathens. This ass kicking is for the heathens of the 2/3 of Israel.
Relies in geography. Southern China lies.
All that science talk and such, man. Just keep it simple. It's the plagues. It's the Lord of Yahweh. It's the plagues of Yahweh Shema Shah.
Is along the Northwest Pacific. This is the world's most active basin for tropical cyclones, making it especially vulnerable to powerful storms every year. Each summer, conditions like a hot sea surface lead to typhoons proceeding towards the Chinese coast. Long coasts are often associated with the high rates of population, and that's why regions such as Guangdong and Hong Kong pose a higher risk. While typhoon winds often lose strength after making landfall, the threat doesn't end there. Slow-moving storms can dump huge amounts of rain in a short time. This can trigger flash floods, river overflows, and landslides that may prove more destructive than the winds themselves. Scientists say no single storm can be directly attributed to climate change. However, a warmer atmosphere and rising ocean temperatures are making extreme rainfall from tropical cyclones likely. As communities across China continue recovering from back-to-back storms, experts say stronger forecasts and better preparedness will be key to reducing the impact of future typhoons.
Alright, let's get to the next one. What we got next? Food. It says UK entering food crisis. Farmers warn of agriculture crisis amid drought and heat waves. Let's get it.
The closest thing to fresh.
Britain's farmers are having one of the worst seasons anyone can remember. After months of flooding and now a sustained drought, some of them are openly warning that supermarket shelves could start showing gaps. Another heat wave has pushed temperatures past 30 degrees Celsius across parts of England, which is not helping crops.
And I just right now just thinking about people that I told, and I know there's many prophets out there been telling people about this stuff happening. And what do? Oh, that ain't gonna happen. There ain't no say. We always going through that. I'm like, no, we haven't. Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago. Shit. But oh man, I mean, come on, now they look as fucking stupid right now. Or these people gonna look really stupid when they start to really feel this shit and see it. And see, when we told you niggas this stuff, especially our own people told you about this stuff building up and it's going down. I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, yeah, we told you this shit. Now y'all looking stupid. But anyway, man, y'all better seek the Lord, man. Repent. It's gonna get worse. They tell you this shit on the news. Oh, it's fear mongering. Well, alright then. Well, yeah, whatever.
Livestock or water supplies that were already under serious stress. It did not start with the summer heat alone. Winter flooding delayed planting across large parts of the country and left fields damaged heading into spring. Many of those same farms are now dealing with the opposite problem, which is almost hard
back last year. I remember that.
to believe. Reservoirs have dropped sharply. Groundwater levels in several regions have fallen enough that irrigation restrictions have kicked in, leaving farmers with almost no way to keep crops watered during the hottest part of the year.
We have to recognize that water security is a critical part of our food security, and food security is our national security. We can't change what's happening at the moment. There is no water in our rivers, but we must use this to take action for the future. We have taken our food supply for granted for far too long.
As per the UK...
He stopped right there. I'm going to go ahead and get to the scripture because I don't want to wait to the end of this. Soon I'll get to these last videos. I'm going to go ahead and read something now. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and this is about Egypt. Yeah, this is the UK. But still, you know what? Let me get the 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of hell and with fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell in them. Dwell therein. Yeah, so this was supposed to be for America, Babylon Great, but hey man, it's really for everybody in the world. Shit. That's all I'm talking about. These plagues hitting the world. But this whole scripture was about, from 11 on to 14 was about America. Well, not 14. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, these plagues are affecting all farmers around the world. Back to the video.
His Environment Agency, this is the 3rd drought in 5 years. Farming groups are no longer calling these events unusual.
Oh yeah, let me get to something about droughts. Well, that one's about Babylon. I'm gonna let the video play.
They're calling it the new normal, which is a grim thing to hear from people who have been working the land for generations. The damage is visible in the fields right now. Wheat crops are reportedly coming in at barely half their normal height. Farmers have started harvesting weeks ahead of schedule, just to salvage what they can before everything dries out. According to the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board, it is the earliest cereal harvest since they started keeping records in 2006. And even with the early cut, yields on many farms are sitting well below the 10-year average.
Man, it was like say, chief thing for life is water. And it's scarce. Need it for food, you ain't got that much water to feed, or not feed, but give to, your crops and shit. You ain't got no food. So that's famine.
Livestock farmers are in a...
Yeah, let's lead to famine. Famine for animals and famine because hell, because this needed for the winter to feed goats and chickens and well, no, chickens don't eat this, but goats and horses and well, you don't eat horses. No. The sheep, you feed this to sheep and goats and cows. The horses need it, but you don't eat horses though. But anyway, it's gonna be a famine, yeah, man. The Lord gonna be cutting off man and beast at a time when famine hits the world in a serious way.
Tough spot too. Grass growth has been poor enough that some are already dipping into the winter feed reserves they would normally not touch until November or so. Vegetable growers are watching their production costs climb as shrinking water availability makes irrigation harder to sustain. Climate scientists have been making the broader point for years that rising temperatures make these patterns more likely, not less. Droughts have routinely happened, but hotter baseline temperatures are making heat waves more intense and weather generally more erratic. Longer, more severe dry spells are, as far as most searchers can tell, part of what comes next. The Met Office says England received just 8% of its average July rainfall this year. That would make it the driest July on record.
Damn, that shit dry.
Though presumably, official confirmation comes later. Wales has seen similar numbers. More than 20 million people across England and Wales are now under hosepipe bans, and wildfires have broken out in several parts of the country on top of everything else. Health officials have added their own layer of concern. The UK Health Security Agency has issued heat health alerts at amber and yellow levels across much of England, with the usual warnings about older adults, young children, and people with existing health conditions being most at risk. The advice is to stay hydrated, stay out of direct afternoon sun, and check in on neighbours. For farmers, the financial picture was already not great before any of this. Risking production costs, the gradual withdrawal of agriculture subsidies, and thin or negative margins have been grinding the industry down for a while. Recent figures suggest around a third of British farmers are either losing money or barely breaking even. Farming organizations are warning that a harvesting this bad, sitting on top of everything else, will not just mean smaller crops this year. Some farms will not even survive it.
I guess that's it. Yep, that's it. Psalm chapter 107 verse 33. He turneth rivers into wilderness, wilderness, and water springs into dry ground, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. He turneth the wilderness into a water spring, and dry ground into a water spring. Oh, did I say into standing water? I meant to say not water spring. I can't remember what I said when I got to this point. I think I said water spring, but I mean standing water. And a dry ground is water spring. And there he maketh the hungry to dwell, that they may prepare a city for habitation. Yeah, those for people who are, doing the right thing for Yahweh Shema Bashar. But for everybody who's doing the wrong thing, they're going to have to suffer from drought. And when there's drought, no water, no food, all that stuff. Yep. But shit, this is going to be, man, it's going to be affecting the whole world with this drought, man. That's why we pray like heaven, Lord, have mercy on you. Let me see what else we got. What is this? Oh, yeah, now we get down to, what is this? Lack of, oh, yeah, still back to lack of water.
We get it.
What's wrong with you? You got irritation? You got itchy? Yeah. I gotta check and see if you ain't got no flea on you, man. That shit work.
This is Dabu 7. And at this point, without a doubt, our critical infrastructure is under attack. Specifically, our water critical infrastructure. We have the feds being tight-lipped about what states have been hit, but they're coming out and they're saying that 7 states, and maybe more, have been attacked and targeted by cyber attacks, even to where they have been able to get in and mess with the chemicals that go into the water supply, how it's distributed, and all that. The FBI and the EPA warning utilities across the country that the hackers are trying to disrupt the critical water infrastructure. But again, for whatever reason, the feds are being tight-lipped and are not speaking on the exact states. That has some people suspicious. Like, why would you not tell us what's going on fully? We know Minnesota got hit, so that was one. I reported on that with 30 different water facilities there that were targeted. outside of that, after doing some digging, we come to find out because they said something, not the feds, Michigan is saying their water systems were targeted in a cyber attack. Now, the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy put this information out saying that they're getting hit. It's part of a wave of cyber attacks targeting U.S. water systems. And they go on to mention Minnesota and South Dakota in this article. So we find out that there was another one. So we've got 3 of the 7 here. As I get more, I will update, but this is a big one. We've got someone messing with our water. Some people may think this is nothing.
You know who that is. Esau Edom. But ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shah plaguing the hell out of you Babylonians.
I'm going to tell you this is rather huge because they could do anything. They could change the chemical levels in it. They could shut it off. They're hinting that they've done just that. They're saying that they have degraded the water resources in some areas, but again, they're being tight-lipped. Hackers behind it. Again, some of the feds pointing at Iran. Trump trying to say he doesn't think.
And what you call it? Black Swan events. Cyber Polygon, whatever the hell. Cyber attacks. Cyber attacks is a plague, and it's creating more plagues. Lack of water, lack of energy, fuel, whatever. Plaguing your bank account. But the banks, yeah, you can't even be able to get your money because the banks been shut down because of a cyber attack.
So, could be a smoke screen. All I know is our infrastructure is being attacked.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter who did it. Sometimes it do, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is are you prayed up Yahweh Shema Shah.
Regardless if it's staged or an outsider that's coming in and doing it.
I mean, it's happening regardless, so you should be prayed up with the Lord.
If it gets hit, it gets hit. And of course, it's going to get blamed on an outsider regardless at this point. And I would just be in the know of this. If you think something's going on in your area, let me know in the comment section below.
Alright, that's it for that video. I'll get the pistons.
Spending ad dollars on more...
Oh, but hold on. Before I do, let me read this 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 11. Now, I can read this about a miracle. The last video I was going to read... No, I only read 13 on down to here from that last video about droughts going on in the UK and lack of water. But here in America, with the infrastructure being affected by 10:44 o'clock, all praise Yahweh Shema Shah, the body Yahweh Shema Shah. Now I can read this about the plagues that's going on in America, affecting the water by cyber attacks. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. They talking about America, because this is spiritual Egypt. And it ain't just a place, it's a place. Egypt ain't just a place. It also represents bondage, because you Israelites were here being slaves in America. Just like in ancient Egypt, we here in spiritual Egypt, America, we're slaves here too. And shit, we're really slaves everywhere. But this place is the biggest place that's known to be doing all that slavery shit. Yeah. As before. And will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. Yep. But cyber attacks is so much more. Oh, pestilence. Let's get it.
We now know that 2 people have died and there are over 18,000 confirmed cases. This is turning into a bigger issue than many people ever expected. Look at this. It says a parasite outbreak tied to 2 deaths in Michigan, according to the CDC. This is scary, but look at this right here. Watch this.
Breaking just moments ago, Michigan has now confirmed 2 deaths linked to the Cyclospora outbreak. State health officials say both patients had serious underlying health conditions that may have been worsened by the parasite. CDC says cases have now been reported in 45 states.
This has now been reported in 45 states. This is not a small issue. This Cyclospora outbreak is concerning, and I want to explain some more things about it. But look at this. It says more than 18,000 cyclosporiasis cases have been reported across 45 states. The concern, though, is that many of these will not show up for about 6 weeks. That's the big concern. But I want to read you some numbers here. Listen to this right here. It says, here's the scale of what we're dealing with. The CDC has confirmed 6,707 laboratory positive cases as of today, August 3rd. But the total case count, including cases still under investigation, are over 18,000. This is across 45 states. There's 423 hospitalizations, and some newer tracking puts the total figure closer to 22,000 cases. This is still climbing, because here's what we know. Cyclospora, this parasite, it cannot be washed off your food. and there is easily there's easy cross contamination.
Why they been promoting saying you need to wash it off? If you can't wash it off, why do they say you can wash it off there? Whatever.
For several reasons. Here's one of them. What's happening, according to experts, they're saying people are going through their food, they're going through their refrigerator, and they're looking at the food, and they're looking at the iceberg lettuce, and they just pick it up and look at it, and this looks okay, this looks good. Okay, I think it's healthy. They put it back. Even if that was healthy, okay, which again, you picked it up, you looked at it, how do you know? Cyclospora you cannot see, you cannot smell it, you will not even know within days if this does cause this explosive diarrhea. But now that 2 people have died as a result, this is going to intensify these discussions, these talks. And we just learned about that this morning. Now, here's the thing. You picked it up. Okay, you picked up that piece of iceberg lettuce and you looked at it and you turned it over and, you know, I'm not too sure about this. We are just going to throw this away. Just be safe, we're going to throw it away. Remember what I talked about when I said easy cross-contamination? You picked it up with your hand. Picked it up. Threw it away. Okay. But then you went and grabbed the cucumbers. You looked at, these look fine. Okay, put that down. And then you grabbed the celery and you grabbed the carrots. You grabbed maybe you grabbed some strawberries and blueberries and you grabbed some oranges, right? You grabbed all that stuff and you're looking at it. It looks okay. Put it all back. The fact that you grabbed with your hands the iceberg lettuce, which could have contained Cyclospora, is one of the things that experts say we should not do. Here's what they're telling us to do. If you have any lettuce from Taylor Farms coming from central Mexico, or you just have any lettuce whatsoever, grab it, throw it in the garbage, go wash your hands. Wash them very good. Hot water, soap, make sure your hands get clean, okay? Here's the problem though. You can't clean the vegetables. You can't clean it. So does it actually get cleaned off your hands? According to experts, they say that yes, it does get cleaned off your hands.
Hello everyone. Today we've got a special unboxing video for you as we dive deep into the highly anticipated.
I don't know about that. Okay, I'm not too sure. That's the concern. Now, here's something I want to read to you. Okay, I want to read a little bit of this article right here. Now, here's the reason why. It says since May 1st. Okay, so you got all of May, all of April, or you got all of May, all of June, all of July, 3 months. Okay, we've had 3 months. We have 6,707 cases that have been laboratory confirmed. The issue though is people are not going in. They don't want to go into their doctor when they have explosive diarrhea. That means they're going to be running out of the doctor's office to go to the bathroom? Probably not. They do not want to do that. They are going to wait as long as they can to hopefully feel a little bit better. Concern though is that this may be too late. And now that we have 2 confirmed deaths as of this morning, this is only going to amplify this. Okay? I want to read something else. It says right here, the CDC says it can take up to 6 weeks to determine if a sick person should be counted in the agency's tally. So they are waiting for 6 weeks just to determine if somebody should be counted toward the CDC's tally of the 6,707 laboratory confirmed cases. We've only been in this for 3 months. Okay? We've been hearing about this for 3 months. That's the concern. That's 6 weeks. That is half of that. Okay? Do you see the issue here? 6 weeks is half of the time we've been dealing with this. That's the concern.
Goddamn, 6 weeks and people been shitting their guts out, puking their guts out. Let me get to the next one.
Breaking news just in. Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services says 2 people have died in connection to the Cyclospora outbreak.
Could this be the... Well, shit, I don't want to say this could be the next COVID. I'm like, shit. All these damn outbreaks of diseases going to be all coming out from the left and the right to the left. I don't even know if this shit true, but shit, I ain't taking no chances. All I can tell you, man. Shit, they fucking with your food, but ultimately the Lord is fucking with your food. That's why it's best for you to seek the Lord right now, and hope and pray you be on the Lord's good side. Cause if you ain't on the Lord's good side, your ass gonna die. you gonna poop out your damn intestines, nigga. Cause of the Cyclospora, the virus or whatever the hell you call it.
At the same time, the Food and Drug Administration has identified another outbreak of the parasite. That source remains unknown. This new outbreak is in addition to the outbreak already tied to some shredded lettuce. That outbreak sickened 18,000 people nationwide, according to the CDC. Joining us now is NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar. And Dr. Azar, with 2 deaths now in Michigan, I guess what does that tell us about the outbreaks we've been seeing?
So, Christine, I think it's important for viewers to understand and remember that death from cyclosporiasis is not a common outcome, but we know that it can happen. And the main reasons are typically from the effects of severe dehydration, right? If you're having so much nausea, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and you're not rehydrating properly. We do have some limited information on the 2 individuals who passed away. They did have what we always call underlying medical conditions, which of course places people at a higher risk for having a complication like that. We also want to remind viewers again, not a common outcome. Many people will be sick with cyclosporiasis and may not even be aware. And then I think we have that bell curve in the middle that has that really severe diarrheal illness.
So for people at home who are listening to us and they're saying 2 deaths in Michigan, thousands and thousands of cases, how concerned should they be?
Look, I mean, I think that we were all hoping that as happens often in the news cycle, things sort of take a little while and then they start to abate. And I don't really think that we're seeing that right now. I think there are 6 active outbreaks in the country right now, and we really only have really good granular data on one of them from the Tyson farms. I think the same precautions that we talked about a couple of weeks ago are still holding true. And as is sort of exemplified by the cases, unfortunately, the 2 people who passed away, that if you are someone who might be more medically vulnerable, you're probably going to be taking more precautions. Obviously, we're always looking at produce as the main culprits. I think there was some conversation recently from another outbreak in another state that maybe parsley and cilantro could have been culprit. Those are also notoriously things that can be implicated in these kinds of outbreaks, in addition to fruits like raspberries, anything that has a more textured surface where the parasite can really get in there and can be hard to get off.
I found myself actually scrubbing a watermelon before I cut it the other day. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Well, think about it. I mean, again, something with a hard shell, right? The inside of the watermelon should be spared from the outside, from the things that are outside, but washing it appropriately, because once you get something on your hands, you can unfortunately contaminate something inside. But the precautions, again, under cold water, scrubbing for 1 minute, and if all else fails, cooking to 158 degrees Fahrenheit should do the trick.
Natalie is our Dr. Natalie.
Yeah. Anyway, our food is fucked right now, and it's only gonna get worse. Let's get to this one.
But I don't want the needles to be too big. What do you think?
You're not going to believe this new virus.
And I already looked this stuff up. It ain't nothing new about this shit called the bourbon virus.
All right, guys. So I've been off, or rather, I took pretty much most of July off. So now I'm back getting to it. So this video, we're going to talk about a new virus that seemingly popped up out of nowhere. They're already starting by stating or leading with this virus having no arm ticket and can cause fatalities in humans. Now, of course, guys, the 2030 agenda, they want a large population of people to die off, right? They want a large population of people to just suddenly stop existing. That being said, this new virus, I'm just like, where are they coming up? First of all, where are they coming up with these names? Now, the name of this virus is the bourbon virus. At first, I'm thinking, oh, you're drinking whiskey and you're getting sick or something like that. That's initially what I thought when I just saw the title. But then I click the link and I see a tick and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? So now there's a new virus out there that's coming from ticks, and ticks are...
That ain't nothing new. That shit existed. They call it the bourbon virus. I've seen videos I pulled up that was 11 years ago. But they bring them bitches back.
Infected with this, and I think ticks are dying from this as well. But this tick can bite you and give you something called the bourbon virus, which can ultimately lead you to passing away. Now, they state that this virus, as of right now, is rare, but people are contracting it or being infected by the tick with it, or with the tick by it, whatever. But you know what I mean. And so this I find to be interesting, guys, because we have the alpha-gal syndrome, right? That's where the Lone Star tick, it was specifically the Lone Star tick, would bite you and then make you allergic to red meats, specifically red meats. Now, some people say that it can also affect people's allergies, or create people's allergy to chicken, but I haven't seen anybody, although I've heard a couple comments on that, or read a couple comments, excuse me. But now this new thing entering the arena, and I'm just like, they're going really hard now, because they're talking about the Mossberg 2.0. And the Mossberg 2.0, which is another video I'm going to do, is no, not quite. It's literally way worse than the first Mossberg. And they're calling it 2.0 because they think they are upgrading it so that more people can get sick and more people can disappear or die at an accelerated rate. Now, the Mossberg mortality, if I'm not mistaken, is upwards of 80%. Mortality rate, excuse me. The mortality rate is 80%, and I think this 2.0 is just an upgrade so that it spreads faster. Again, that's the talk of this new Mossberg. But that hasn't been released yet. And there was a scientist saying that they're going to look to release it soon to meet their 2030 agenda, and that in 2027, next year, a large percentage of the population is going to pass away. So again, those are all theory, those are all rumors and, you know, nonsense. But when you start having real diseases pop up, like like Bourbon virus or the alpha-gal syndrome, which the alpha-gal syndrome, you're not really going to die from it. You just can't eat meat. And I know some people, I might as well die. I can't eat red meat. But not the point. The point, guys, there's new things entering this arena of what's going to kill us for 2026 and 2027. Now, the Bourbon virus is being found in the Midwest, East Coast, and Southern United States. So again, some people turning out or being infected with this and getting sick. And it's the same thing. It's fever, headaches, body aches, fatigue, rashes. So these things, guys, it's almost standard now when you get a tick bite. You're having these same symptoms, because with Lyme disease it's the same thing. You have like extreme fatigue. When people say fatigue, they actually mean extreme fatigue, because we're all fatigued at some point. Whether you work too much, you're out and about, you go on a vacation that's costing you more energy than it's actually worth. That's fatigue. Extreme fatigue is where you feel like you're going to die. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. A few years ago, I got so tired, and this was at work. I had to lay down. I couldn't understand what was going on. And then it went away, right? And I got tested to see if I had Lyme, and I didn't. I had some other tick-borne virus that wound up working its way out of my system. But nonetheless, and I have been bitten by ticks quite a few times. I would say upwards of 20 now, just because of the stuff I used to do in the woods. Anyway, that being said, guys, this new thing people should definitely be abreast of, because it's just something new that they're throwing at us.
All right, I'm going to start right there. But yeah, man, pestilence. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. World War III, class wars, civil wars, race wars going on, and a lot of people be killing each other. And that's going to bring in more problems with pestilence, more dead bodies on the streets. And there ain't nobody got time to scoop them up and pick them up and burn them, bury them, whatever. They're going to be laying there smelling funky, smell like shit. And they're going to be bringing in pestilence flies and all kind of rot and stankiness. And yeah. And the insects going to be transmitted. Yeah, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, and there shall be famines or lack of bread. And pestilence, we gotta talk about that with the Mossberg virus, or what the virus was, the making shit on yourself a lot virus, and what else was the Bourbon virus? Yeah, they said that should kill you. Yeah, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And I forgot what else. I forgot the other scripture I'm supposed to read, because yeah, I was talking about. I was talking about when the videos were playing was floods and fires and such. I didn't get to that. Let's get to it. I didn't even get to that. Nahum chapter 1 verse 3. The Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So all these plagues are for the wicked that's on this earth, from the heathens to you 2/3 Israelites. The Lord Yahweh have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, the clouds of the dust of his feet. What was it? Isaiah chapter 28 verse 2. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shema shall have a mighty and strong one, which is a tempest of hell and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast out to the earth with the hand. And let's read Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. So pray to heaven, Yahweh Shema shall have mercy on you. That's all I got to say. Well, not really, because I have to close out. I still got to talk. But that's all I got to show you when it comes to videos and showing you proof and saying, hey, there's so much sources, man. I can't keep up with all these plagues that the Lord is bringing upon the whole earth. But you better take this serious. If you ain't, well, that's on your ass. But shit, I'm worried about myself. Shoot, and for the elect to make it through it, the hopeful elect to make it through it, become of the elect. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Seek the Lord by seeking his prophets, and take heed what it say, and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing their truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order, Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.